Welcome to Oregon Unleashed, tech and PC gaming. Around here we do computer stuff and things. And today one of the things that we're doing is we're going to be installing Kali Linux on a virtual machine. So you can see the edge of my screen here. Let me zoom you out a little bit. Yoink. Right here you can see that I have my screen. I grab the mouse, I minimize that. Right here, see, it opens just a regular Windows file explorer. You can see these are some of the cop skins for Grand Theft Auto 5 mods. I made some cop cars with my local police departments. So these are the skins for those cars, but this is just the normal Windows file explorer. At the same time, I can click right here. This is the Linux file explorer. So how do I have two operating systems running side by side like this? You put them on this screen. Oh, it's because I need to move the whole thing, duh. Or I can put it on this screen. So this right here is my virtual machine. It's running on a Linux distribution for the operating system, which is known as Kali, K-A-L-I, Kali Linux. And that's the distribution that anybody that's following along on any of the small little teaching videos that I'm doing, it's best for you to get Kali because that's what I'm using, so it'll make it easier to follow along. Nothing will be different. However, if you do have a Linux flavor that you prefer and that's what you want to use, by all means feel free. I'm just letting you know what I am using, so that way if you want to use the same thing and make following along a little bit easier, you can. So go ahead and put this back over here, open it up, because I kind of run my computer in this manner. So the way that I like to have it set up is I will have Windows on my main monitor because, well, I'm a gamer, I like playing games. So I need to have Windows. I am anxiously waiting for the day when I can completely break up with Windows and I don't have to have Windows anymore. But unfortunately that day is not here yet. Right now there's support for games for about, last I heard, and I didn't check myself, about 3/4 of the games on Windows you can get working on Linux. Some of them are a little bit buggy, but bugs get worked out over time. As long as it's working, it's working. But there's still about 25%, and some of those games are games that I really, really like. They're like my go-to games. So I can't break up with Windows yet. But I prefer Linux. So most of the stuff that I can do, I do on Linux. And if I have to, I use Windows. My animosity towards Windows comes down to the privacy invasion. They invade your privacy, they track too much stuff. They don't need to know everything I click on, even if it isn't bad. Even if it isn't on the dark web. Another one is banking and credit cards and things like that. It's all being tracked and logged. And do you really want that? I don't. So I use Linux. Linux is not tracked the way that Windows is. And that, for me, is a big deal. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to have two operating systems working on your computer, otherwise known as a virtual machine or a virtual PC. Inside the computer, we're going to carton off a designated amount of hardware resources. So your processor, your RAM, your storage, all those things, we're going to allocate a certain amount that's going to be used for the virtual machine. So it will have access to it and be able to use it. And if you run that thing as hard as it will go, it will only top out. Say if I give it 2 cores and I have a 6-core 12 thread. It considers the threads processors when you're counting in the cores that it asks you about. So it's not logistical cores, it's processing cores, or maybe that's backwards, sorry if it is. But they're talking threads. So I have 12. So I give them 2 for the virtual machine. So if I start trying to do a brute force attack with it, it's going to pull up 2 of my 12 threads, and in the task manager, if I look at it, those 2 will be at 100% usage, and everything else will be sitting at 1 or 0%. Not even touched, unless I'm doing something in Windows to be using them. Myself personally, I use a RAT a lot of the time to access my virtual machine. What is a RAT, you may ask? Well, a RAT is a remote access terminal. So we're gonna install Kali. So I'm ready. I hope you're ready, because we're about to get into it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down here to Firefox or whatever browser you have, enter the search bar, and we're gonna type virtualbox.org. Then press enter. That should bring you to this website. There's a blue box. This is download VirtualBox 7.0. That's what we're gonna click on. It's gonna take us to another screen. On the left, it's got a list of operating systems. Pick whichever flavor of operating system you currently have. That will be your host computer. Once that finishes downloading, then we will close our browser, go down to our File Explorer, and we will open up our File Explorer and go to Downloads. Once you go to Downloads, find VirtualBox, launch it. That's going to open your standard installation dialog menu. Follow all the basic default settings that it recommends as you go through the install. Basically just clicking next, 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 finish. I've already done this. I'm not going to install it on top of what I already have installed because I don't want it to mess up any settings or anything that I've changed since then. But you get the point. Follow the basics on this installation. Once you've completed that, just like normal, it will pop up with a finish button. So once you finish that and you get to the finish button, that looks just like this. Click that finish button and then you can launch the application. I'm going to delete this because I don't need this installer. Close File Explorer, launch VirtualBox. So this is VirtualBox. This is what it looks like. Go ahead and close that. Come back down here to the browser, enter the search bar, and we are going to type Kali download ISO. An ISO file is basically a pretend CD. So right here the top link is Get Kali, Kali Linux. We are going to click on that, and that's where we will get our fake installation CD. That's actually just a file that pretends to be a CD. Right here, if you scroll down, you'll see Kali Linux 64, whatever year or version is current when you're watching this video. For me right now, it's 3.5 gigs. It's Kali Linux 2022.4. So wait for that to download. We'll speed it up for you so you don't have to wait as long as it actually took. You only gotta wait a couple seconds here. So after this finishes downloading, and you've got yourself a nice drink, maybe a snack, come back and this thing's completed, we can close the browser, come down here to VirtualBox, and launch the program. Once you are in VirtualBox, you're going to tap on the new setting. Or option, sorry. Once you click that, it's going to open an installation dialog box like this. You're going to name your virtual PC. Mine's going to be Virtual PC Demo, like I said. I already have one over there called Kali. I'm going to delete this one once we're done. After that, over here on the middle, you'll see ISO image. Click on that. If you've done this before, you'll have recent images. Otherwise, it'll be blank and you can just click on other. Go to your downloads, find your Kali Linux download, open that, and you'll see it right there in the ISO image box. After that, the rest is auto detected, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just click on next. That will bring us to the allocation page where we're going to allocate how much memory and processors we want to give to the virtual PC. So I'm going to go with about 12 gigs and we'll do 6 cores. After that, click next. Right here we're going to allocate how much storage we want to have for the system. So I'll say 50 gigabytes. The cool thing is it's dynamically allocated, so it's not going to carve out a 50 gigabyte section of your hard drive or SSD. It's just going to store files as it needs to, and once it gets to 50 gigs it's out of space, but it will store them wherever it's convenient and makes sense. After that, you click next. It gives you a summary of your system, so you can click finish. Next, make sure your virtual PC is selected on the left, so you can see I'm showing you my different machines here. So make sure you have the right one. First we're going to click on settings, and we're going to come through and we're going to make a bidirectional shared clipboard and drag and drop bidirectional. That way I can move files back and forth between my host and virtual PC. There's a few different settings in here you can check out or change. You have to do this while the PC is off, the virtual PC is not running. I like to change my paravirtualization to Hyper-V. Next we go to display. Right here under video memory, I like to max that out. I also like to enable 3D acceleration. After that, I'll click OK. Now we can click on the green start button. Make sure you have the correct PC selected once again. Now this will launch your virtual PC. Now this virtual PC does not know that it's inside of another computer. It thinks it is the big bad computer, the big boy on the block. Alright, so this is a Kali Linux graphical install menu. We're going to click enter, or you can just wait a couple seconds and it will automatically boot. Now the system is booted into the installer. We're going to select our language. For me, that's English. Select your country. For me, I'm in the US and I speak English. Now we wait for a couple loading bars. These ones don't take too long. These ones are pretty quick. Just configuring a couple components. Feel free to grab yourself a snack or something to drink right now while you wait. Alright, so now we're going to configure the network. We're going to go ahead and give this username a name. I just keep it Kali. Set up users and passwords. User, I keep it Kali. Everything I set as Kali to make it easy, and obviously not to give away my personal information on YouTube. So everything for me is Kali, 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 Kali on this virtual PC. After you've set your password, make sure you set a strong password. Click next. Click your time zone. I'm Pacific. Now select guided. Under partition disks, select your partition disk, select all files, select finish partitioning disk, and select yes. Click continue. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've begun the real installation. Now's when the wait starts. This will be the longest part of the installation. Thankfully, I can speed that up for you. So, after some time, it's going to ask you about something called a grub bootloader. Go ahead and select yes on this option. So once you select yes on that, hit continue. Select the hard disk that we partitioned. Select continue. Wait for the last of the loading and installation. This shouldn't take, hopefully not too long for you guys, but it can be a while. So don't be afraid to grab a drink or a bag of chips or whatever your thing is. And once this is finished loading or installing, it's going to give us a notification and tell us that we need to reboot the system. So we're going to select continue, and once we've clicked on continue, you'll see the bar go across and you'll see some code as the system shuts down. It's letting us know it's booting into. There we go. Our system's booting up. We got the Kali logo. Looks like things are going good so far. Alright, here's our login window. Now if you guys remember, I chose Kali as my username and password. So let me enter those in here real quick. Voila! We are at the desktop. Welcome to Kali. Once in Kali, you can do anything from launching the browser, Firefox, surfing the internet, basic normal computer stuff. But the beautiful thing about Kali is the free and easy access to the source code and the command line and all the development tools that you need for either software development or hacking. So we're going to open up the console, which is the little black square thing on the top. Once that opens, we're going to type sudo apt update. Press enter. It's going to ask you for your password. Remember, mine's Kali, so put that in, and it's going to update the system. After that, we're going to sudo apt upgrade, and we're going to, in essence, install a bunch of those updates we just downloaded. It's going to ask you yes or no. Press yes, and those things will install for you. Once again, this could take some time, so another opportunity to go get a drink. If you're drinking alcohol, you're probably starting to get drunk by now. I'll speed this up for you. Okay, well, guess what? Now you are the proud parent of a penguin. You got a penguin, otherwise known as Linux. It's just a fun term, at least I like to play with. Some other people just call it whatever, but for me, penguin's cool. I like the penguin. And I hope you like your penguin. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe button. Preferably the subscribe. You can skip the like if you want to, especially if you didn't like the video. But if you don't hate me completely, hit the subscribe button down there. Or if you do hate me completely, comment down below and tell me about it. And tell me why. I'd like to know. Curious. Otherwise, it's been real. It's been fun. Hasn't been real fun yet. But some of the future videos, we're gonna get there. And I'll see you there. Peace.